What is the real meaning of the word America? You might have heard several different stories of where the name America comes from. However, I want to tell you that they're all, in all likelihood, fake. They're not real. They're fake history, part of the fake history of our world. Some scholars or, mainstream history will tell you that the word America or the name America for the country, for the continent, comes from this some guy, Italian guy by the name of Americo Vespucci, whom, as they would have you believe, discovered the place or was part of you know, the first people to discover it, along with Columbus and some other shady characters in the fake histories. But I have a different take on this. I have been searching for a long time, and it was not until yesterday that I actually found the correct origin and meaning according to my research, and which I am here to share with you. Again, this is not about, oh, I found out something, let me toot my horn or anything like that. Absolutely. The whole opposite. This is, I'm doing this as a service to everybody, and help spread these truths that are being revealed. There's an abundance of knowledge that's being increased. And you probably, if you're hearing this, watching this video, you're probably one of the people that are increasing in knowledge. It's just compounding. It's a very interesting, weird phenomenon. It's, of course, we know where it comes from. It comes from the source. It comes from the creator. It comes from God. Whatever name you want to give him, whatever attributes you want to give him, he or it is always going. She or is always going to be beyond all that, indescribable, ineffable. It just our limits are the of our comprehension is what's going to limit our description of said source. And again, I might refer to him. It's just a measure of respect, although we know, the source is much more than a him or an it. In any case, so let me get down to brass tacks, and I'll tell you first how I discovered it. And you're going to see here on the slides a lot of that information that's from what I'm saying. And this is one of the biggest keys to the truth. I'm going to go ahead and tell you what the final key to the truth is right here in the beginning of this video. I'm kind of working my way backwards, if you will, from the end. And you're like, hey, why don't you start at the beginning? Because it's taken me years, a whole lifetime, or possibly more than that, to get here. So I'm just going to work, from where I am today, and what this knowledge is coming forth. I'm sharing with you, so that you again can share it with the people that you want, so as to increase and improve, the benefits, whichever they may be for humankind. So anyway, the big, huge key to the truth is knowing and realizing that Sanskrit or Sanskritam, however you want to name it, is a very ancient language, which was quite possibly the first language known to man. It was not invented by mankind. It was not invented by humans. It was given to humans by God, by the Creator himself. It says so in all the literature of the Vedas, in all the Puranas, all the Vedas, it says. And I'll do a video on that. It's a completely different topic. I'm giving you a huge key to the truth, which is the final key to the truth. I have more than 30 keys to the truth. So what do I mean? And I'm getting ahead of myself here a little bit. What do I mean? I'll get to the point of America soon. What do I mean by keys to the truth? This is a playbook. This is a playbook for life. This is a playbook for understanding the world around us. A world which is not natural. It is not uh, an accident. It's a world that is supernatural and magical. It's a world that is created. It's a world that's designed and maintained with the utmost attention to detail by the source, the creator, God, however you want to refer to him, it, her, etc. So, Sanskrit is known also as a perfect language, a divine language. It's not a human language. All the different sounds correspond also to the human anatomy. And I am not an expert on that particular side of the subject. There's plenty of videos out there that can give you more details. So I defer to them in that sense if you want to know about that. What the situation is that a lot of the Sanskrit scholars, um, the Brahmins and all the people that study that, they're too close to the action, so they can't call it. They can't call the action because they're too involved, too invested in, you know, they have a skin in the game. I'm not saying I'm not making a judgment, but what I'm telling you is that they can't see the forest from inside the forest. Okay, they're looking at the trees, they're looking at the ground, they're looking at the leaves, the branches, but they can't see the forest. So, as an outsider, a complete outsider, um, I'm studying the language, I'm studying the roots, and I'm studying its connections to the modern languages that we speak and write, and it's just mind blowing. And if you don't make that connection, then you're missing the real root. We get handed all these fake roots. We get handed Latin, we get handed Greek, we get handed Hebrew, and all of these other fake leads, if you will, so that we don't go down the proper rabbit trail, and we get stuck on all these other lesser trails, so we don't find the right one that goes down deep to the essence, to the very root, the main root, the main vein that where it all begins, and where it all stems from. Okay, so I'm going to tell you that it's Sanskrit and Sanskritam, and then work my way backwards, showing you all the proof, complete proof, in several videos. This is going to take a long time. So this video is going to be long enough, so I don't want to get too sidetracked. So I'm just making a note, handing you a key, one of the biggest keys to your understanding of the world, to finding the truth, to getting closer to the truth. I'm not claiming I know the truth. I'm just telling you that I found out a methodology, a playbook for revealing these secrets. And of course, God's the one that's been guiding me. Like He guides all of us in our decision making, if we're able to listen to Him, to open our eyes, to open our ears, our understanding, and let Him guide you. So there's a whole lot about that, and I defer to Him, and I thank Him, absolutely, because I'm not the one that's finding out these secrets and mysteries. They're being, I could say revealed, but I don't want to get too like, oh, revelation. No, it's just, God leads you. God leads you if you allow Him, and period. So the whole aim here is to share these with you, because I haven't seen anybody else doing that, and it needs to get out. It needs to be disseminated. We need to spread this so that more people find out, okay, why we're being cut off from the root and divorced from the root. And you can see the inverse psychology work that's being done, the mind control that's being done against us, so that we don't find out the truth. So the evil, or I'll refer to them as they, them, they. Who's them, they? I mean, that's a whole nother video, who them, they is. But it's not you. It's not me. It's those few that are, dedicated to lying to you all the time, 100%, with a fake history, with the fake cosmology, with the fake science, with the fake everything, the fake news, so that you're in all your inputs are lies, then all your outputs are going to be lies. What happens is a lot of us analytical thinkers, we get stuck on some of they hand us these they have a manipulative technique for every single personality type, and they've developed this for thousands of years, hundreds and thousands of years. They're really good at it. They have their own evil playbook, okay, and they follow their own evil keys to the to the lie, or whatever you want to call it. So it's a black playbook, of how to manipulate humanity, how to manipulate the human mind. And one of their favorite techniques is that it's just feed you 100% garbage, 100% lies, not 90%, not 50%, not 20%, not 99%, 100% lies. So we need a playbook of our own. We need a game plan so that we can counter all their, little instances where they're manipulating and lying to us. And so that's where the keys to the truth come in. And one of the biggest keys to the truth, one of the final keys to the truth, is knowing, realizing, and investigating for yourself. Do not take my word for it. Do not believe me. Do your own demonstrations. Do your own research. All over the place. There's different sources. So that you can find out for real if Sanskrit or Sanskritam is the original root language of all the other languages or not. I have a lot of evidence that I'm going to share with you in this video and several other videos to come that this is in fact the case. This seems to be the case. The evidence is overwhelming. Everything I'm going to share with you is zero dogma, completely no dogma. Everything is evidence-based. Everything is proof-based. Everything is demonstrable, repeatable, observable, shareable, etc. I don't want to call it a scientific method because that is one of the keys of evil, okay? The scientific method, I'm going to do a whole video on what scientia really means. The sacred sciences of the occult, and there's nothing sacred about it. It's all about the evil. So this is the opposite, okay? Do not get triggered, please, about, oh my gosh, you're going with the Orientals and you're a pantheist and you're a devil worshiper. And again, do not get triggered. You need to go beyond that. They want to send, and this is one of the most important keys to the truth. This is another key to the truth. Inverse psychology. Dividing us into, beliefs, dividing us into ghettos, dividing us into all the divisions that they can possibly come up with. Okay, so you need to go beyond your taboos. Whatever taboo you have, you need to critique it. You need to dig down deep and be like, why is this taboo to me? Why can't I, talk about this subject with myself? I'm not talking about in public. I'm talking about at the personal level here. Why am I not allowed to think this way? Why is my, mainstream mega church telling me, pastor, that, hey, you shouldn't do yoga, or you shouldn't look into, all those New Age stuff, or you shouldn't look into this. Well, yeah, New Age stuff is New Age stuff. It's crap. I'm not talking about New Age stuff. I'm talking about the real source, the source code, the source material. Okay. That's where I'm getting, that's another key to the truth. So I've just told you several, more than 3 keys to the truth. You gotta research on your own, look at the source material on your own, in the original scripts, in the original language, in the original texts. And I'm probably sharing some of these screens with you here of how I'm doing it. Another key to the truth is also Googling and using their sources. So, because if they're telling them yourselves, I'm sorry, if they are telling you themselves, and agreeing, sometimes there's something to it. Sometimes it's just a blatant lie, but sometimes they're so bold and they think that you're so blind and deaf and dumb that you cannot even understand it if they put it on a movie, if they put it on entertainment, if they put it on cartoons, if they put it on advertising, truth in advertising. So they lie to you in the news, they tell you the truth in entertainment. And I didn't come up with that. There's several good people doing a lot of good work uncovering all this. So that's a big, huge key to the truth. So you can corroborate. Go to the source material. Go to the Greek Bible. Go to the Vedic literature, but the actual text, not the Google. Then compare it to the Google garbage. Then compare it to the Wikipedia garbage. And then you can kind of see the King James or the New International Version here, and compare it to the Greek, and then you start comparing all these different sources, and you might start triangulating, which is your way to the truth, okay? Or your way to a dark spot where you see, okay, something's missing there. They're trying to hide something from me, like the meaning of the name America and where America comes from. The word, the name, why this country, why this continent is named America. The real meaning, not the fake meaning, and there's a lot of fake meanings. So they send out a bunch of fake stuff, which is Operation Mockingbird. You probably know that already, to delude you, to lie to you. So 100 different theories, 1,000 different theories, 1,000 different translations, 1,000 different versions, or more, so that you cannot find the needle in the haystack, okay? Or the needle in the stack of needles, right? Which one's the right one? You're never going to find it. That's their strategy, because it's lie, 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 lie. You're never going to find the truth, because it's way down deep, and we've thrown our inverse psychology at you as another key to the truth. Go deep inside yourself and question everything that you think you know. Question it. Like, what do I really know? What am I looking at? I'm looking at the sky. What is the sky? Well, I'm looking at the sun. But what is the sun? Maybe we can never know. We probably can ever understand how the sun works, what the sun is. But we can sure as heck determine a few things. One is that it's bright. Another is that it can burn your skin. So there's a few things that you can build up on, with your senses, with your 5, 6, 7 senses directly. And then you can build up on it. But you have to be very careful that you're not going through your filter, your mental paradigm, that you've been brainwashed into thinking, oh, it's a globe, oh, it's a disc, oh, it's 300,000 miles away. No, it's not. You have no way of knowing that. Oh, I read it somewhere. They have a telescope. Do you have a telescope? Is it telling you the miles? Is it telling you how far? No, it's not. And it's probably, gamed. It's rigged. So we have to be very, very weary of all these things and repeating as parrots what we're getting told by somebody or something. So do not do it. Keep questioning, keep questioning, keep questioning. Dig down deep. That's a big, huge key to the truth. The Sanskrit. Okay. Alex, where do you come up with this Sanskrit theory? It's everywhere. It's all around us, and I'm going to do plenty more videos on this subject because it's so huge. We get handed these fake roots, Latin, and the dead giveaway on the Latin is that it's used for witchcraft, sorcery, black magic. All the spells are in Latin. You can do you can do spells in other languages. But all the dark spells are in Latin and other languages. I'll get to that in other videos. But dude, that's a dead giveaway. That's the dead giveaway. Even a kid the other day that I talked to, a child, 10-year-old, she came up with that. She came up with that on her own and told me because she's into Harry Potter and stuff, and she's like, this, Latin is like a black occult language. I'm like, yeah, how do you know? I'm like, because they all use it for the spells when they're doing spells. So that's a dead giveaway. All the fake Roman history, fake Romans, fake Latin, all that's fake. Okay, Greek. I will need to do another video and more research on the Greek being a distortion and a corruption of the Sanskrit. And you can even Google this yourself. Why Google it? Hey, do you believe in Google as a good source? No, it's the worst source. It's garbage. But the key to the truth there is that if they themselves are willing to admit it, you know, on a Google search or Wikipedia or some other, horrible source of information as that, then, they don't even care to hide it anymore. That kind of thing. So, but the Sanskrit is being hidden. I'm not here to tell you, hey, you need to be a Hindu or Indian, or you need to come from Bharat, or you need to have been born in India. I'm like, what the heck does that have to do with anything? Oh, well, I am a Hindu, or I'm not, or I'm, from India, or I'm not, or I have ancestry, or I don't, or I'm black, or I'm white. That has nothing to do with this, okay? This is a root material. This is a root of our modern spoken and written languages. And it's very important that you investigate this, that you find out this truth, you prove it, you corroborate it for yourself. I'm going to share you more some of the information here on the slides and other videos. Right now, I want to get to the subject of America. The word America, our country, America, the continent America, South America, Central America, North America, all the Americas, okay, the Americas. It doesn't come from Americo Vespuccio. That guy probably never existed. Maybe he was a beggar. Maybe he was even fighting evil, and they're just doing it as a joke on the poor dead guy's name. We don't know the extent of their cynicism, okay? But we do know several things, and one of the things is they lie about every single little thing, okay? And I'm sorry I'm repeating myself. It's just, I have to get the information to you. So let's see. Amara-Ka. Here it is. America, the word it's not any of those other theories. It's not, it comes from, this native tribe that was called the American Indians, or it comes from a native Indian name or a native Indian tongue. No, it doesn't. It comes from the Sanskrit, and it's actually Amara-Ka. And it was really hard to find this. I didn't learn this until yesterday, not until like years and years of research. And you have to find the right phonemes. Phonemes, it's like the sound, the syllable, the spoken word. And that's another huge key to the truth. They can change the lettering. They can change the scripts. For example, Cyrillic script versus our Western modern alphabet script versus the ancient Devanagari script, which is used for Sanskrit, or Brahmic script, or Tamil script, or any other scripts. There's several different scripts, and that's part of their game. They change these around every few hundred years, or we don't know when they do it. Whenever there's a catastrophe, a natural disaster, a reset, a real reset, not some of these fake resets like they're doing now. Whenever there's something going on, they like to step in. They like to start, asking you not to use a language, not to speak a language, and they'll force you. They'll use violence. If you don't believe me, just look at Black history here in America. How many, to all my Black friends, I love you guys. I love everybody. We need to investigate this together. But how many, people that speak, Swahili here in the U.S. that, are here for several generations, that were, part of that situation, that terrible situation that they went through. They don't speak their ancient languages because they were forced not to do so. Okay, and that happens elsewhere too. Do you think the Europeans know their ancient language? They don't. The first slaves were the Slavic people. That's where the name comes from. Slavs, slaves, Slavs, Slavic, slavish. Okay, they were slaved out of other regions, and I'll do the videos on there because there's plenty of proof of all of what I'm telling you. The proof is in the pudding, they say. So a lot of the proof is going to be in the phonemes, in the actual spoken language. And as good as they are with their evil, they're not perfect. They're far from it. They're actually, you know, they're very smart. They're very evil, but they're not infallible. They make a lot of mistakes. Um, and God allows a lot of this, and He also He knows the end. He knows like that He's above time. So remember, magical universe that we live in, magical world. So He's always allowing our little dramas to play out, our little human dramas and spiritual dramas to play out. But He also allows the word to live through and to live through the different cultures. So He chose India, He chose Bharat for whatever reason, for the Sanskrit to be preserved. And I know the reason, and I'll do that in another video. This is going to be long enough, so I don't want to. I just want to give you like the good stuff. Oh, okay, Alex, give me the nuggets. Give me the good stuff. Don't give me the filler material. There's no filler here. It's all 100% evidence based, repeatable, observable, and you can do your own research on it. So the word is Amara-Ka. I tried finding if it came from Mary. Some people could make a case. So hey, Amerika, it could be Mary, and there's a root for Mary in Sanskrit, and Mary is it's the name of the feminine divine Mary, which comes from Ma Mary, and there's a whole another subject there on how its connection to water and the divine feminine. But I don't want to get sidetracked too much here. So Mary, the mother of Christ, is that figure. So, but it doesn't necessarily come from that. It comes from the Amara, which may also have a link to the Mary. But so of all the definitions, I found out it's Amara-Ka. And what does Amara mean? Here's one source, the Cologne Digital Sanskrit Dictionary and on the Indian Epigraphical Glossary, it says Amara IE 7-1-2. It means 33. Boom! My mind was blown when I looked at that number yesterday. Being the original number of the gods, okay? If you know anything about anything, 33 is a huge code in numerology and gematria for the occult, for the evil people, because the 33 is a symbol that they represent, they worship it. It is, and it relates to the Bible, it relates to the Abrahamic faiths and the mythologies, and the Bible. It's not. I'll use the word mythology loosely, but the Bible truth, but it also links in with the Vedic scriptures, and you're like, oh, don't get triggered, please, don't get triggered. Oh, you're talking about, you're using syncretism and one world religion, and you have to be very, very careful there, because that's another game they use. They put a thought in your brain. You repeat it like a parrot, we all do, and then, we brainwash ourselves, and they use the inverse psychology. So, if you agree with me that there is one source, one creator, then there is one truth. Then there should be one religion, possibly. I'm not saying that I'm advocating one world, NWO, globalist, devil-worshipping one religion, which is for them, Luciferianism, Satanism, devil worship, Asura worship, demon worship. That's their goal, but it's not mine, and it's not our goal. If you're the listener, probably, But if there is one creator, if there is one source, if there is one consciousness pervading the entire universe, the entire world, seen and unseen, then there is one truth. If there is one truth, then that's it. There is one religion. Maybe, okay, you want to call religion you want to call it the different cults, or the different rituals. You want to call equal the word religion to ritual, then that's another thing. Okay, then somebody lights a fire, somebody uses water, somebody dips the person in water, somebody, does a fire bath, somebody chants, somebody dances, somebody, meditates, somebody bows down, somebody doesn't bow down. These are rituals, okay? And if you want to go in the ritualistic way, well, everybody can do it their own way. That's fine. I'm not getting into that argument at all. What I'm telling you, if there is one truth, then that's the end of the story. Then you've defeated the one world religion argument, and you put it on its head. Like, what do you mean there shouldn't be one world religion? If there's one truth, then what are you talking about? There's one truth. There's one creator. There's one source. But possibly there's different levels. There's higher beings of all these different classes. Blah blah blah. Let's not go there right now. But I'm just throwing it out there. And us humans, we're here in Midgard, Karma Loka, Earth realm, whatever you want to call it. Kind of in the middle, in between. Doesn't mean there's other dimensions. Doesn't mean there's no astral, spiritual planes, higher orders, lower orders. Yeah, that's fine. But there is one ultimate reality, one ultimate, source, consciousness manifesting and unmanifesting at the same time. So there's one truth, period. So I've just be careful with the inverse psychology. It's a huge play that they love to run, inverse psychology, so that you do not go outside your chicken coop, so that you stay within your borders, you stay within your mind prison, you stay within your heart prison, your mental prison, your construct, artificial construct, and you do not think, you do not love, you do not reconnect with the source. So be very careful with the inverse psychology that they love to use. The oldest tricks are the best tricks, and they keep working like wonders for the evil. So you have to, when you know the game, the play that your enemy or the opposing team is running against you, then you can run your own play, your counterplay. And the counterplay to run there is like face your taboos, face your fears. I'm not telling you to go out there and start, doing some dark magic and dark rituals. Of course not. You should never play with that. Okay, it's very dangerous. It's more dangerous than fire. Okay, you should search for the truth, search for God, search for the ultimate truth. Do your own research in several different sources, the original source material. Get to the real script, to the physical books. Physical books, if you can hear that, are essential. You can do a lot of internet research, which is wonderful. Use transform that evil technology, turn it on its head, transform it, transmute it for good, like God loves doing. He loves that, and I'm sure that derails and that makes the enemy, just furious. But he's powerless against God. So anyway, yeah, love God and love come together, and they love to transmute that evil negative energy into the good positive. So you can transmute technology. Don't become a slave to it. There's another trail. I'll do some other videos on that. But do not become a slave to it. You are in control, okay? And God is in control ultimately. So again, Amara. It means 33. Well, that's one of the meanings. There's several other different meanings. It also means from the Buddha Sasana, a concise Pali English dictionary. It means immortal, deathless, a deity. Okay? So there you have it. What does Amara mean? Amaraka. Amaraka. Amaraka means those immortal 33. Okay? Fallen entities of evil that, from our limited human perspective, sort of rule, our spheres of action, of interaction. That they don't rule anything. They have an effect, but God is always in control. They named the place, they named the country, they named our country, they named our continent in that sense, Amara-Ka. And Ka is a suffix which means an adjective. So it means of. So there you have it, Amaraka. Amara-Ka means of the 33 fallen deities that are immortal, of the 33 mortal deities that are fallen. That's what Amerika means. And it absolutely, goes in with what we're noticing in the world around us. When you compare this Sanskrit root, you compare it, so you have to do a lot of comparison, right? So that you know that you're not getting a wrong translation, or you're getting you're being misled, or you're finding something that's wrong. You're comparing this ancient Sanskrit root with what's going on in the world around us, and you're like blown away. I was blown away. I don't know if you are. But here, from the Monier-Williams dictionary, we have Amara, means undying, immortal, imperishable, a god, a deity. The number 33. Boom, End the story. That's it. That's the meaning. And Ka, it just makes it into an adjective. So that of the, pertaining to the adjective form of said noun, right? So there you have it. Amerika is the origin, root meaning that they gave the evil ones to this land, okay? And then you're like, wow, how is that possible? Then you start questioning your findings, like you should. It's a good exercise. It's a healthy, rational exercise. Remember, reason is another supernatural aspect that God gives us, and it's kind of a channel that He allows you to play in. The channel, you have the channel of emotions, you have the channel of reason. It's like a bandwidth, if you will, that He allows you to play in, and it's part of His brain. That's a whole nother tradition there, but very important. So, like, you could be saying, "Oh man, you're crazy," I do not believe that for a second. I'm not into Indian history. I'm not into Itihasa. I'm not into Bharat history. I don't even have any friends that are from India or Hindu. Dude, get over it. It is what it is. The Dead Sea is where the Dead Sea is. The Sahara is where it is. The pyramids are where they're located. If they're fake or if they're real, they're wherever they are. There's the Gulf of Mexico is full of fish or whatever. Things sometimes they're just the way they are, because God wanted it that way. So for whatever reason, He preserved their language, which was our language. It's all of our language, and it was beaten out of us through several different means of manipulation, even by force and violence, and that is why we don't speak it in the rest of the world. We don't know about it. We didn't know about it until very recently, and but again, that's the Holy Spirit working through these channels and getting these truths out. Okay, you're gonna start using technology against humans. Well, they're gonna use it back against you. Okay, so the Sanskrit's gonna get out, and they're gonna reconnect with their divine language, which is a language that was created by God. It was not created by the fallen ones, as they would have you believe. They like to take, possession of everything. They like to counterfeit everything. They like to claim everything. They like to say, "Oh, we invented it. Oh, us, the Devas and the Nagas, and then the holy serpents and the seraphim, and we created, the languages." No, they only distort things. They only corrupt things. That's the only thing they know how to do, and mess things up and lose. Okay, because God's the real winner, and so are you. Okay, if you stay on the right side, always on the right side, always on the side of God. We need to, have a little come. I don't like to use the word Jesus, and I'll do a video on that. But we need to have a little come to Jesus, a little come to Christ, our Creator, and really be humble. I'm throwing so many trigger words at you here, and I'm sorry. I apologize for that, but you need to get beyond that. Okay, you need to get beyond like, oh, I don't you do yoga because my pastor, my preacher says it's the devil, or I don't do Christianity, or I don't open the Bible because I hate the evangelists, and they're only out there to make a buck. All these stupid things, and forgive the word, all these stupid, silly things that are all parts of the plays of the enemy's playbook. You have to be familiar with the enemy's playbook. You have to go beyond it. The truth is one, and you need to find the roots in all the different texts. And so, if you're not comfortable yet, here I'll show you that there is one truth, and I'm going to read here from the Mahabharata. The Mahabharata has been dated to around the most accurate to around 5,500 years before Christ. Whenever that was. What do you mean whenever that was? Yeah, because we're not living in 2021. If you believe that, you need to do some heavy research into the fake history. And I'll do a lot of videos on that, don't worry. So please subscribe, comment, share your thoughts with me, questions, tell me why I'm wrong, tell me why I'm right, share some more information that I could find useful or that you could find useful. The idea here is to grow as spiritual beings and human beings. So Mahabharata, I have here the Sanskrit text with English translation, physical book by M.N. Duff, volume 1. Okay, so volume 1, you go to page 4. Look at this. Listen to this. He says, and I'm going to read it a little bit just for context, okay? This mysterious wheel, which causes the destruction and production of all things, revolves thus perpetually in the world, without beginning and without an end. Okay? And then comes the punchline. To cite a brief example, the generation of devas, which means divine beings, that's where the root comes from, devas, divine, was 33,333. And then it goes on to list their names. So again, I'll read it again. Mahabharata, the original transliterated text, page 4. To cite a brief example, the generation of devas was 33,333. This is talking about the beginning of our world, the beginning of our modern world or cycle, or the beginning of this creation. And that number right there coincides exactly with what the Bible says. Okay? So I just read you the Mahabharata, one of the most sacred ancient texts from India, from Bharat, and it's giving you that 33,333. 1/3 of the deities came down to earth. Okay? And now I'm going to read you from the Bible. You're probably familiar with this, maybe not. Apocalypse 12:4. Okay? You can check Apocalypse 12:4, Apocalypse 8:12, and Apocalypse 12:7-9. I'm not going to read this in order probably, but listen to the numbers. Look, Apocalypse 12:7-9. Some people call it Revelation. I like the name Apocalypse. Then war broke out in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon and his angels fought back. But he was not strong enough, and they lost their place in heaven. The great dragon was hurled down, that ancient serpent called the devil, who leads the world astray. He was hurled to the earth, and his angels with him. Then you go to Apocalypse 8:12. The fourth angel sounded his trumpet, and 1/3 of the sun was struck, 1/3 of the moon, and 1/3 of the stars. So 1/3 of them turned dark. 1/3 of the day was without light, and also a third of the night. Then we go to Revelation or Apocalypse 12:4, and he's talking about the dragon. Okay, the same thing I just read you. When the dragon fell, and he was warring in heaven. The huge dragon. Imagine huge dragon, big tail. Fire-breathing dragon, flying dragon, just crazy. I'll do a video on that. Its tail swept a third of the stars out of the sky and flung them to the earth. The dragon stood in front of a woman who was about to give birth so that it might devour her child the moment he was born. So listen to that. A third of the stars. 1/3. What's 1 divided by 3? It's 0.333333. It's infinite. It's an infinite number. It's an indivisible number. It's what it is. You can divide it geometrically. Like you take a triangle, you can divide it by 3 very easily. But if you take a whole number divided by a whole number 1 or 10, you divide it by 3, you get an infinite number of 3s. Okay? And that's exactly what the Mahabharata is telling you. 3,333 devas came down to the earth. Okay? And Apocalypse in the Bible is telling you a third of the angels that were with the devil, sided with the devil, were hurled down to the earth. It's the same thing. It's the same story. Forget the divisions. Forget the religions. They're talking about the same occurrence that happened ages past, eons ago. Okay? Way before we were here, our modern people. This is a thing that did happen. It was handed down over generations through verbal, oral tradition, master to student, in the ancient traditions. It was written down in Greek. It was written down in different languages. It was written down in Sanskrit. This is an event that did happen, and I'm showing you the proof, okay? This is the ancient source materials, okay, that we're reading from. Okay, and the enemy, of course, is going to throw curveballs at you. They're going to run interference. Okay, they're going to run interference, and they're going to try to jam the signals like you would when you're dealing with communications. That's another huge key to the truth. Whomever can control the delivery, the distribution, the access to the truth, to the communications, he's going to own it. Okay, so here you see the hand of God. You see the hand of God and beating them at every single play. But over 90% of people, I'm sorry to tell you, are not going to get it, and you probably know that already. But that's a whole other subject. So how do we corroborate this? 33 in Masonry, Freemasonry. Okay. 33. They love their 33s. They worship the number 33. So you take a look at what evil's doing. That's another huge key to the truth. What is evil doing right now? What is evil up to right now? What is evil, bragging about all over the place in music and film and all the things that they like to brag about, okay? That they think they control. The number 33. They worship it. Why? Because it means 1/3. It's an incommensurable, indivisible number. It means 1/3 of the angels. And it's mentioned in both traditions, in the Eastern and in the Western, in the Bible and in the Mahabharata. Okay? That's it. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I've given you astounding, concrete evidence. Okay? And you can say whatever you want, but phonetic evidence, philological evidence, the roots, the language, spoken languages are, I think, one of the best sources of evidence, because it cannot be destroyed. It can be transformed. They can corrupt it. That's what they've done. They've changed the letterings. They changed the ABCs. They've changed the languages all over the place. I'll do some more videos on that. But you can only change it so far. And they know that, and they recklessly, or not recklessly, sometimes they have certain boldness to their evil, and they call That's why they call the place Amerika, Amaraka, in honor of the 33 fallen, evil, immortal deities. So that's what the name means, Amara. And the Ka is just making it the adjective, that of, pertaining to. Okay? So when they reconquered it, or whenever that was, that's a whole other thing about the fake histories. Archaeological evidence, there's plenty of that. We'll do some more videos on archaeological evidence. Artifact evidence, temples evidence. There's a lot of fakery there. There's a lot of destruction there. But two great sources of evidence for you are going to be ancient texts. Okay, remember, and then you run that against the Google, you run that against the Wikipedia, you run the good sources against the fake sources, and then you run that against what evil's doing. You run that against what they're trying to make you think. They run that against what they're trying to keep you from thinking, the taboos, the inverse psychology, okay? And this is not about pantheism. This is not about monotheism. This is not about, am I a believer in Christ or am I, pagan? You're neither, okay? You're trying to find the truth, and the truth is one, period, okay? So Amaraka, I've told you what it means. Please share it with the world, share it, or at least share it with the people that you love and know, and that they're awake, or you want to wake them to the real meaning of the word. And what may be more important than that discovery is the methodology I'm sharing with you, so that you can have a methodology for truth, a keys to the truth methodology, a playbook for the truth, and that you can use it successfully for God knows how many more things, I told you how I found out about it. Now you can use all this, and you can run with it. You can play with it. The dictionaries are game too. I'll tell you, the online dictionaries, you have to be careful. I had to do so many different. You run it one way, and then you run it the other way, and you translate from language A to language B, and then from B to A, and then you have to cut the words, and then you have to lengthen the words and do variations and deviations, because they love to hide this stuff. Like, you're not going to find this if you write down Amara-Ka. You're not going to find it anywhere. You have to research Amara separately and then Ka separately. So they know what's up. Like, I'm sure that the big bosses, they know what's up, and they know that Sanskrit is a big, huge secret, and they don't want you like finding out, like, hey, you're in Europe, you're in Germany, you're Ontario, you're in Wisconsin, you're black, you're white, you're Asian, you're Mexican, you're whatever, and they don't want you finding out that we all spoke Sanskrit thousands of years ago, and it was one language. It was the original language that God taught Manu, or Adam, the original man, however you want to call him, and it was lost in translation. Excuse the Actually, it's a very valid expression. It was lost in translation. Okay, so they like to mock us and make mockery of us, but it's all real. Research it for yourselves, please, and start using it for different things. So, like, is that the only place? No, there's like all the other places too. Like, a lot of them. Canada. The word Canada is pronounced Kannada in Sanskrit with a K. Look it up, and you'll see it means something in Sanskrit. I'll do different videos on all these other places. Wow. Texas, it comes from Tejas, and I'll do another video on that too. It also comes from Sanskrit. And then you have, for example, Los Angeles. Why is it Los Angeles? Well, it's named after the angels. The angels are immortal. What angels? The fallen 33, the fallen 1/3, the fallen 33,333. Oh, well, the book of Enoch says it was only 200. It gives the names. Well, of course, everybody's going to give their account of what happened, okay? So don't get bogged down in the details. The devil's in the details. Look at all the material. Compare it. I've given you all the points of comparison. There's several more. And then you can start triangulating your way to the truth, my friend. So I hope this helps you in your journey. Please share it. Love you guys, and hopefully talk to you soon. God bless.